Hi everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you how to make Chucky from Rugrats out of gum paste. Okay, just like always, if you guys see any supplies or tools that I'm using that you could use, if you check in the description below, there's a link that should be able to help you out. Alright, let's make our Chucky now. I'm starting out with his pants. I'm going to make a ball of green as you saw, and I kind of forked it in half, not in half, but I kind of forked it so now he had two lumps coming out. I'm using the stick and my veining tool to bend over in kind of the center of each of the Y, the little legs coming out to make his pants. So now he's got a big baggy roundish diapery area and his pant legs. His pants and his sleeves are going to see kind of like bubble up and toward the end where his arms and legs come out. So that's why I have it a little thinner by the body, flaring out at the bottom, and I'm using the ball tool to push up and in to make it stand out even more. And now I stuck a lollipop stick in it, and I am going to leave him in my block of styrofoam there. That's what I work a lot in. It just makes a good support for all the decorations, so they're nice and firm and stiff and they don't fall over. This blue I kind of made into almost like a bell shape, a soft bell shape. That's going to be his shirt. His shirt is a little bit, again, flared out at the bottom where it connects to his diaper or his pants. And so I wanted to keep that effect, so make it a little more narrow, rounded at the top. Two little pieces of beige for his legs, and now I'm going to use a little piece of gold, kind of flattening it out. I'm going to put it right over the bottom of his little leg stump there. Those are going to be his socks. His socks only show a little bit with the shoes, so that's why I'm doing it this way. I'm not going to wrap it around. You just need a little thin band of it. Okay, I'm working on his little red shoe right now. I took an oval, a nice round oval, flattened off kind of half of it so the other end stuck up still, and then flattened that so it could connect to his feet. So you see I'm using the stick just to kind of roll off the bottom part of the shoe, leave the other part sticking up, and then just press it into place. If you're finding it's not sticking, you could use a little piece of dried spaghetti to hold everything together, but he's kind of small enough I didn't have any problems. There's another piece of gold on his chest, just an oval. A little red band because he's got the shirt with the little planet on it. So that's what I'm doing there. And now I'm going to work on his sleeves. His sleeves are nice and round and oval at first, and then I kind of taper it in the middle and then make the one end bigger than the other, kind of flatten it off. When you get a good size, like a good length and everything, I cut it at an angle so it'll lay against his body better. And I'm using that ball tool again to round off and press into the bottom, just like we did with the pants, to make it kind of billow out a little bit where his arm will come out. Doing the same thing on the other side. Have your kind of pear-shaped sort of sleeve. Cut it at an angle. And now, just like the socks before, I'm going to take a little piece of red, flatten it there, make a nice round circle of it, and press it into the bottom of his sleeve. He's got kind of like little red cuffs on his shirt for his arms and his neck. So here's going to be another one that goes around for his neck for the collar of his shirt. So just don't forget that little detail there. Press it into place and you're good to go. All right, more of that beige color again. I took kind of a long cylinder of it and just kind of getting the idea for the length. I'm going to have his arms going down behind his waist a little bit, like he's supporting himself on his hands, like he's leaning back on his hands. So I took my piece, I kind of flattened it out as you can see at the bottom, only toward the front though, or toward one side. Cut a piece out to make a little bit of a thumb, so just cut it on the side. I flattened off the other side, and now I'm making 3 little cuts to make his 4 little fingers. See what I did there? And then I will press it on up into the sleeve and against the side of his body so it'll all stay in shape and be supported. So I'm doing the same thing here. I've got the cylinder, I flared it out at the bottom. I'm cutting away the one side to make a little thumb. Make sure you watch which side of the hand you cut because you got to have the thumb going the right way. I was holding it up to the arm or to the sleeve to see how long or short it should be, so I'm just trimming down where I need it to go to make it fit. Once I get a good enough length, just press it into place, add a little bit of water, and let it dry. Alright, he has a design all over his shorts of like wavy rectangles of a different color green, and rather than me trying to cut out teeny tiny little pieces and stick them all over, I just drew them on with my food coloring marker. Okay, that little piece of white that I just flattened in kind of an oval shape is going to become the soles of his sneakers. They are white on the bottom, so just roll it out nice and thin. Press it into place, make sure it fits, because the first seam was a little bit too small, so I had to make it bigger. And do the same on the other side. He also has white shoelaces that are always untied and he's always dragging around. I forgot to add them. So if you were to add them, just roll out some white, between your fingers really long and thin and stick them on the sides of the shoes and that would be fine. For his head, I got the same beige color again and I kind of made it into like a football shape sort of there. He's got a big head. It's big and it's wide. Now I'm using my veining tool to make his big long mouth because again he's got a very big wide mouth. And even though you see me attaching his head here, I'm going to end up taking it off in a minute. But you can really see how just big and long it is and keep it low down on his head as well. Okay, moving on to his hair now. You get some nice bright orange and I tried a whole bunch of different ways. I found this way worked the best. I made just a longer piece of it. I did big tall spikes on the top as you can see and little short spikes on the bottom and just kind of leave the sides alone. And that's going to become the front part of his hair. It becomes the part that sticks up as well as his little spiky bangs. So I stuck it on there and just kind of bent those spikes a little bit to rough them up, make them a little more, organic, I guess. And now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take another strip of orange that will go around his whole head. But this time I'm only going to do the big spikes on the top. I'm not going to do it on the bottom since it's going behind the front layer there. And now I got a second layer. Now he's looking more Chucky Finstery. See, here's where I took his head off. I am using purple now to make his glasses. I made a rectangle, just held it up to his face so I got a good size of it. Cutting out little divots with my X-Acto knife there in order to make the bridge of his glasses. And once I get him all cut out and get a good size of it, then I'm going to very carefully place it onto his face. Oh, so gently. Or not, really. I'm adding a little ball of the beige for his nose. It's just a straight up ball that I kind of flatten on the bottom and I'm putting my veining tool using it to make two little nostrils because he's got a bit of a pug nose. It kind of sticks up. Another two little balls on either side for his ears, and those are strictly just a ball. Press it down in the front so it kind of makes a letter C, and his ears are done. Super easy there, right? Okay, now I'm taking very thin pieces of white. I rolled it out super thin, cut it into squares so that it fits a little bit smaller than the size of his glasses to make the lenses, and a little rectangle down bottom on his mouth there to make his two little buck teeth that he's got, because he's teething apparently. Using my knife blade, I separated out the center, so now he's got two teeth. Now I'm getting down to the final details here. Two little up and down lines to make his eyes out of black food coloring marker. 3 little dots on each cheek for brown for his cute little freckles. Stick his head back on and ba-bam! There you go. You got Chucky Finster from Rugrats. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please like and subscribe because that helps me out. I've got a lot of other videos out there, so please check those out if you'd like. And as always, thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.